You are tuned into my weekly talk radio TV show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced and get happy with Dr. Marissa. And this show is about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So I have shows and topics.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days.
Monday, Tuesday,
Happy days.
Wednesday, Thursday,
Happy days.
Friday, whatever.
Happy days.
What a day. Na-na-na, na-na-na.
I love you.
I love you too.
Best known as the mom from Happy Days, and she is a delightful 89-year young Marion Ross to my studio. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Dr. Marissa, this is such a treat for me. Oh. My goodness, you're a wonderment.
Which is exactly the kind of guest that I like. Those who have gone through life, good and bad, and then taken those experiences to alchemize them into the person they are now and doing good on the planet. I'd like you to welcome Corey Feldman.
If you're grateful for it and you say right away, thank you, God. Oh, my God, it's so beautiful. I'm so blessed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Then guess what? More good things will come to you.
Does this sound familiar at all? She's back again to mark my Cancer Awareness and Prevention Month show. Please welcome Fran Drescher. Hi, Fran.
On and supporting cancer schmance. I really appreciate it.
So what would you say are some of the biggest myths, Fran, that people have about cancer?
Well, I would say that they think that there's a cure for it.
Okay.
Instead of a cause for it.
This is the first call-in show when I get to be Dr. Marissa, the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura. And people call in to get their life tires balanced and their critical thinking or their BS, their belief systems, smog checked. And today I am delighted to have Malie calling in from Birmingham, Alabama.
We could go 90 days and end up having terrible sex. And then you say, well, the relationship's not all about sex. Well, if I'm not getting great sex from you, then I'm going to get it from somebody else. Right?
That boost just got put on the table. And I see Josh and Jim.
I have to agree
You're
with Clyde.
both nodding. Ramon's sort of half nodding because his wife's listening. But
I understood what was going to happen if Muhammad Ali's youngest daughter, made public that I was going to become a boxer. So I wanted to make sure this was the path that I wanted to go down.
You are absolutely fabulous, beautiful inside and out. And I'm giving you Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award today.
Thank you.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic point.
When I go, I'm gone.
Are you lonely?
No.
Nah, I knew that was going to be
But I surround myself with people. I mean, I'm always the one cooking for things. But I'm always the one that decorates first and come to my house. All the orphans that have no place.
I'm going to have no place to go, so
Okay,
I can
come on over.
And life is so amazing if we can see it.
Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not used to it. I'm not used to it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa. And I am so delighted that you are all here this morning. This is a show about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal, no K words, no Kanye formerly or now words. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show. This is on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports radio station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, Podchaser, Streaker, Spreaker, and more. I am your hashtag positively opinionated host. And if you've enjoyed all of my
you froze.
Past 1,000. Thank you for tuning in and continuing to support this show about hope and happiness. And you can see from who is in the studio this morning, it is Friday. And it is my fabulous friend, my beautiful inside and out. Her name is Elan Carter. She is my Friday co-host and the series called Tempting Conversations with Dr. Marissa and
Elan Carter. Good morning.
Good morning.
I made
Welcome back. Yay. Ready?
Ready.
Have
cup
you have your
today.
coffee? Here we go. Oh, wrong way. Ding.
There you go. I didn't have time to put it in the cup because I didn't make it. I got my coffee this morning. I didn't get my coffee this morning. Keith got my coffee this morning. So
Nice.
I didn't have time to make it. I actually was out last night, so I was struggling this morning. And if I look tired, because I am tired.
You don't look tired at all. We already have eyeballs rolling in, and we even have a heart up there. I don't know who gave it to us yet, but that's really sweet. Wonderful way to start the show.
You.
Yay. We love when we get We love when we get eyeballs. I'm going to take a guess that it's either Maria or Orville. So what do you think? You want to guess Maria or Orville?
Maria.
Okay, I'll take Orville. It's Maria.
Okay.
You win.
Well, at least we talk about her all the time, and we were so blessed and fortunate to have her on last week's show. That was so much fun that Maria was on the show. So you got to see beautiful Maria. You know, a lot of times when people tune in, they don't want you to see what they look like, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, you're so beautiful. You have to come on the camera. And so, we did.
Yeah.
We got to see. Yeah.
She was
Lovely.
great. She was, and her cat. Oh my God, I've never seen such a loving cat.
Oh, she's well, when I first started talking to her, that's my cat. I have a Maine Coon, and she has a Maine Coon, and I had never had a cat. And so that breed is the long hair, and they're so beautiful. And she was teaching me about the cat, and I adopted the cat. It's not like I didn't know anything about cat breeds, and she has that cat's so sweet. So mine is actually kissing me. They're very affectionate. So I'm trying to get her as affectionate as her cat.
Wonderful.
There yet.
Oh, wonderful. And we also have tuning in from Africa, Jean-Baptiste Niabizi. Awesome. Congratulations. Greet from Africa. Please, Marissa, friend, Africa. Good time. Yes. Long time supporter. He's actually a friend of, let's see. He's a ham. Oh, yes. Your cat, Maria. Jean-Baptiste is in Africa with the sister location of Jesse's place. And I had Jesse on many, many years ago. Lovely lady. She's in heaven now with my dad. And she started a center for victims of the Rwandan genocide. So I had Frederick on my show who had his arms cut off right here by the Rwandan terrorists, and he went through the pain out the other side and is helping other amputees in Jesse's place. And Jean-Baptiste is a critical care helper. Heads up, I think that center. I'm not quite sure the exact details, but it's always wonderful to see him here. So let's have breakfast. We have a lot of people to have breakfast with, so we should get this out very quickly. What it is 8 specific things that you're grateful for at the top of the bun, 8 things that you like about yourself at the bottom of the bun. And I want you to take a bite of my gratitude sandwich this morning. Here we go. 1 word gratitudes to make it quick. And then we can get to the topic of the day, which was selected by Elan. So you can give them a little teaser. What is the topic for today?
So do you marry for love or money?
Ooh. All right. So we'll get to that as soon as we finish our morning blisscipline. I am grateful for bananas.
I am grateful for coffee.
And you're welcome to put in here what you're grateful for. I don't see anything yet. I am grateful for Pablo, my daughter's boyfriend's adorable Frenchie.
Oh, so cute, that doggy. I am grateful for the internet so we get information.
Grateful for friends, like Elan.
Grateful for family and friends.
Grateful for, this is my last one, the beauty of dolphins and whales and all the undersea life.
I was going to say something and may not be appropriate since you said that.
Well, you know, you've tempted me now. Tempting conversations.
Sushi, but you talking about fish and stuff. It's not appropriate. It's my gratefulness. I can't come back to talking about dolphins.
We don't eat dolphins and whales. They eat fish too, so you can say it. Go ahead.
Oh, sushi.
That's hilarious. All right, let's go to the bottom of the bun. That's an exercise that it's my BS belief system that mental health starts with self-care, self-love, self-soothing, your ability to, kind of manage yourself and love yourself most of the time. So what do you like about yourself? Elan, you start.
I like that I'm motivated.
Funny.
Crap talker.
Forgiving.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
Well, I was going to say something, but it's not actually nice. I'm vindictive.
Hey, it's okay to know yourself.
Yeah, I am vindictive. If you do something bad to me, I'm vindictive. I'm telling. So just be nice.
There you go. I'm sampling something here. We can actually have background music now in the studio. Do you like that one? You like that one? Okay. Breakfast. I appreciate that I have a good ear for music.
I am nurturing.
It's a good one. I am fortunate.
Is that all of them?
I think that's all of them. You started. So that is it for breakfast with Dr. Marissa and
Elan Carter this morning.
Yes. Thank you for joining us for breakfast. Here we go. I got to give us a little love. So do you want me to put music on for the rest of it or just for the breakfast?
Nice.
You like this? Okay, let's do this.
It's nice and I'm relaxed. I told you I'm sleepy.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. There's like different ones to choose from. Acoustic, cinematic. Oh, okay. Let's do this one called Really? No, that's not music.
Really? I like that. You can use that to when we say something
yeah, that's
crazy.
a good idea. Yeah, that's right. There's another one here.
You have to get Trace to come on because when someone says something that he doesn't like, he looks at him and goes, "Don't talk no more." And it's the way he says it, like he says it with an accent because he's a comedian at night. Don't talk no more. I said, okay.
Who's this?
Trace says it.
Trace says it?
Trace.
Oh, okay.
You know, so, in a mild manner, but he's really funny. He's a comedian.
He's very mild mannered.
Says that something that happened.
I don't know that side of him. I don't know that side of him as much. Yeah.
9 o'clock at night is when it starts. 10 o'clock at night, he's full comedian mode. I was like, you should be a writer because he's really funny.
That is hilarious. All right.
Yeah,
Topic of. I'm sorry.
I said he imitates people well. Like he can mock the way they walk, the way they talk. He's good at that.
Does he do me? Have him do me and tape it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll have him do it.
All right.
He'll make up his own. He'll have to get his microphone.
I'll bring my mic for him. How's that? Okay. Let's see. Do you love for marriage or money? No. Do you marry for love or for money? So, just curious, why that topic? What was the thought pattern before you got there?
Well, I actually been having conversations with people, and I actually was at an event last night, and I ran into one of my really good friends' ex-boyfriend, and he was with his friend, and he was going through a divorce, and we were sitting there talking, and he was talking about his relationship, and his friend says I should be the therapist. He's paying the psychiatrist who's blowing smoke up as you know what, because I think he's taking his money. Long story short, him and his wife are breaking up over money. But in exchange, he can't forgive her for that, but he's had multiple affairs. And so I was trying to tell him that one doesn't compare to the other. I think he was just trying to justify, and then money became an issue. And money is one of the reasons why most marriages break up. Because if there's no security, it's a business transaction. You may love someone, but it is a business. If you don't treat your partner as a business, it won't work, period. And you have to understand that that's your partner and it is business transactions. And when you violate that, and that was his issue, he violated that. But he also violated infidelity. And he said, but I came clean. And he wanted her to admit it. Well, I was like, but you came clean after you got caught. And after getting deeper in the conversation, he had multiple situations that he never admitted to. But until he got caught violating, then he had to find a reason. And it was an issue with money, right? But then he said, but he doesn't want to be married to her anymore. We had this long conversation, but he still loves her. And I said, but if you still love her, you can fix it because you're all kinds of wrong. So maybe because you're paying the therapist, they're taking your money because you're wrong on so many levels. It's just that you have standards. So if I was her, I wouldn't want to be married to you. So he's saying that she took money and didn't tell him. And I was trying to explain to him, but that's your partner. And if she took money, although you wanted it for something else, you took something from her, she's allowed to because it's a business. This is a business transaction. You married that person because you love them, but the love and the lust doesn't stay there. I think that's why people cheat. They cheat because they like the newness and the excitement of being with someone else in an intimate situation, and it wears off. Because once you have assets, you have to learn how to make those assets work for you and children when the children starts coming and they have kids. And you can't, this person was trying to justify their childhood trauma for what they did and tried to put the blame on that person. So do you marry someone because you genuinely love them? Because I don't think that the love transitions to different levels, right? It's not the same lust thing. But because some people don't know how to deal with that, they push that to the side, like, oh, well, I don't feel the same way, and they forget that it's a transaction. So is it better to marry someone for security because you know they'll be a good partner, you know you'll grow with them, you know that we could be a power couple, and then I think the mutual respect will come later, and then you guys will learn to respect each other, and that love may be stronger than marrying for the lust, because if you marry for love, it's really lust. I can't hear you. Where'd you go? Can you hear me? I can't hear you, Dr. Marissa.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of beep, beep. Oh, it's gone now. Stuff going on in the background. I didn't want it to get in the way. So I muted myself, which is not easy. But if you've just tuned in and you're wondering who's in studio this morning and what's going on and what we're talking about, this is Take My Advice. I'm not using a gift balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind, AM 1050, FM 106.5, NBC News Radio, home to the Asian Oprah, and home to my very special Friday series called Tempting Conversations with Dr. Marissa and
Elan Carter.
And we're talking about, should you marry for love or money? And Elan just gave a great example of a marriage that did not go well. And it sounded like it started with a problem with money, but it ended with a problem of infidelity and blaming and letting your past get in the way of your present and your future, which is the theme that we always talk about, because that really does affect your happiness. And that's what this show is trying to up-level your happiness, especially in your relationships. So my reaction to the guy is, well, let me qualify. I'm guessing that he made more money than she did, or he was. Oh, you don't know
him?
Oh, okay.
My ex-boyfriend, it was his friend. They were there, and I guess he brought him out because he was depressed, and it made it seem like she did all kinds of wrongs. And once he started talking about it, I was like, well, you're wrong on so many levels as a woman who is married and go through challenges in my relationship. I'm telling you, you're wrong. And I don't care what your therapist is telling you. You got a male therapist, and he got someone similar to him culturally that may have the bro code.
Yes.
And I said, definitely that is got that bro code going on, because you're telling her she spent some money, so she's got a problem. She's married to you. And whether or not she was right or wrong, she has a right, if she feels, to spend money, and she works. Oh, and another thing, she went out of town on a trip, and he was mad because it was the day that he wanted to do something with their anniversary. I said, but you cheated. And as a woman, as a scorned woman, she's going to get back at you. And that doesn't matter about going on the anniversary. Why would she want to go on the anniversary with you? And I guess he said how he got caught is he was at dinner and the girl called, and it was a hooker. And I was like, and I was just baffled how he kept trying to justify it and why he was so angry. And I said to him, you're already out of it mentally, because you wouldn't even go there multiple times. And if it was a sexual issue in your marriage, then that's the conversation you should have. That's where you should have gone for therapy, because you could try to work on that, but you keep justifying. And he had been married before, so this seems to be a pattern. So my thing is this: you marry someone or going to a marriage, and I don't think we realize it as women because we're emotional and we fall in love, and the lust and the sexual thing becomes a factor why we can't see the trees for the forest. I think that if you decide to go into this business transaction, you need to look at that person's history and watch how they conduct themselves with finances, and even with finances, how they treat others. Do they look like they're a person who's going to be willing to be a partner with you and not be, what I said to the guy at the end of the day, I said, things you're saying, you're working out of your ego. This is all about your ego, what you think you should be doing because you have this background. You should be doing what you think serves you, not your partner. And you have to be careful.
Yeah.
Date that person. But you got to really think about marrying them, because 9 times out of 10, that will be the fault of the marriage. And like he said everything under the sun except what he did.
Right.
So money will break up the relationship is what I'm saying. So you have to, I think going for business, marrying, and I'm not saying marry someone just for money, but marrying someone who has security, who's going to have.
I just want to go for the. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They're good. No, I'm just saying who's going to be cautious of, like, let's make sure our credit's good so we can work together so we can benefit. Because at the end of the day, you need to take care of your children. And then even when you take care of your children are going to be gone. And so you're going to be stuck with that partner. And you're not going to be 60 years old dating 25-year-olds. Nobody's going to want you when you're that old. So you better try to make it work with that partner.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to go to the chat for a second.
Huh? Go ahead.
I just want to go to the chat for a second. We've got Tom Briggs saying, hey, and that and you are funny. Peace and peace out to you, Tom. Always nice to see you on the chat. And then we've got a nice juicy piece of Maria with tea and deli. She was engaged to a surgeon. I broke up with him because he treated me like a collection of property, like the expensive art on his wall. I ended up with someone with no money. I choose love over money. And then she follows it up. But one does need to have someone with goals and motivation so you don't stay broke and have them depend on you. Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
and you know what? I'm going to say this one thing. And I've dated people that are high profile when I was younger with a lot of money. You also have to be careful that someone doesn't see you as an amusement park, because when you have someone who's wealthy and has the notoriety, then you are their amusement park for that time until they decide to get something else on the other side of the amusement park. They want a different ride. That is exactly what happens. Mm-hmm. I'm not your amusement.
Yeah, I got to remember that. Yeah, I was someone's amusement park, unfortunately. I was, and I'll take responsibility. Unlike the friend of your friends that you were talking about, is I was one of the 7 out of 10 of us who are wounded children walking around, not working on our emotional oversized baggage. And so naturally I gravitated and picked someone who treated me, and I thought I could make them love me. And so I knew right from the get-go that he had issues with, saying I love you, or, making a decision, or having a job. And so that marriage ended. My sentence was 9.2 years. And it ended with me paying a lot of money because I chose a man that didn't like to work. And so, Maria, that is definitely, money. It matters. I think it matters a whole lot more than anyone that grows up with Cinderella or Snow White, the book of romance that, you meet, your eyes meet, you fall in love, and then you ride into the sunset. That's BS, bullshit-talky.
Yeah, it's not reality.
It's not reality. Exactly. Yeah. And money.
We have this false sense. Let me cut you off. We want to have this false sense of morals. Oh, morally, that's not right. We should love them for them. Love you for what? Like, you have a family, and if I go into this transaction one way and I come out the opposite in another, and you expect me to be there and be loyal for what? Because that's not what you did not hold up your end of the bargain. And that guy basically said he had other issues. I said, well, you sounds like you're working out of your ego. You need to work on self-love, just like what you just said, Dr. Marissa, and find out why you were doing the stuff you're doing instead of blaming the wife, because you just admitted. He's like, oh, I found out at 29 that my parents adopted me. I said, you're a grown man.
Yeah. What are you doing,
You're
Blaine?
a grown man. Yeah.
Grow a set
You're a
of.
grown man.
Now,
Right.
let me give you a situation of the guy makes $250,000 a year. The woman has a degree and she gets pregnant, so she stops her career. She stays at home. Is she entitled to spend and live and make decisions from that money? Is the expectation that she's basically getting paid to stay at home, so she gets half of that money?
But the thing is, it's a lot of work taking care of a child. If you're going to take care and put your child in child care, they would make like $100,000 a year, right? Or $50,000-$60,000 just for child care. Yes, she's entitled because she's being the mother, the lover. You know, when she's tired with those babies all day, you come home and you want to make love to her, and then you want her to cook for you. Yes, and that's society's conditioned us that women are supposed to do those jobs, and then women are basically your mothers.
So the other reason why I'm muting myself, this is the fire alarm testing.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's just my take on it. You know, if you're a stay-at-home woman and you're taking care of your family, it takes a lot for a woman to have a child. If the men, they'll be like, oh, I could be a stay-at-home dad. Yeah, that's fine too. But let's have you have those babies for 9 months and see what it takes and what it does to your body. And then you're sitting there mad because we don't look the same because we just had those babies. It takes so much out of you, you know, just the chemical imbalance, not alone the body change, the psychological. You deal with a lot in order to give you life, and you're, you know, and you're sitting, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just frustrating, right?
Yeah. So we're gonna try this. Anytime there's I'm muted, you talk.
Okay. I will do that. So, you know what I mean? Everyone can write in. I want to hear what everyone's thoughts were. But this conversation was so deep last night. And then I said to his friend, I go, I'm sorry, I don't know you. And you brought it up. And I'm sorry that you might feel that I'm crossing the boundaries. But I want to give you some food for thought. And because you don't know me, maybe you'll think about what I'm saying. Because you just said to me that you still love her. You said that several times. So you can fix this. But I'm telling you as a woman and who's married, and my husband and I have had ups and downs. You're wrong. No, and your person's not telling you. You're paying these therapists, and you're wrong on so many levels because you already crossed the boundaries of marriage many times. And until you got sloppy, all of a sudden now you were like, "Oh, I told the truth." And I said, "You shouldn't have told her anything after you admitted the one time. Then you went back and finally told her the other one." So he feels because he admitted like he had slept with like 10 hookers. She should admit that she took the money and spent it because she felt like it. I go, you crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. And I'm going to jump in and talk right now because he's not doing the alarm.
Yeah.
So as soon as he does the alarm, I'm going to mute and then it'll be your turn. That's the way we're going to run today. I'm so sorry. I asked them, is it all possible to do the testing after 10? And they said, unfortunately, city officials do not subscribe to my schedule. But as far as money is concerned, I just gave you a scenario where the man makes all the money, the woman stays at home. Now let's go the opposite way. If the man stays at home and the woman makes all the money, should that same rule apply where the man is able to use that money because he deserves half of that money to do and make decisions the way he decides to do? Is that fair? Is that what you're supposed to do? I'm sorry.
I'm biased.
Okay.
I'm biased when it comes to. Okay, so I have a friend who basically her husband just passed away. That was the situation with him, right? But he was much older than her, number one. So he had kids that are in their 60s. I mean, she didn't even know he was that old. So she had 3 babies for him, and she worked, and he never really worked. But he did take care of the kids. He did stay home. He cooked, he cleaned, he took the kids to school. But then when they got to a certain age, he just went bike riding during the day. And I was always like, you can't even afford to go on vacation. And as a woman, not only did you have these 3 babies, right? And not only did you provide the house, now he doesn't do anything. Now I give him credit. He did take care of the kids, and that was their arrangement because they were small babies. And one of their kids has autism. So he did work with him. So I give him credit for that. But at some point, he had no motivation because he became comfortable. So because he was older, he used this excuse like, oh, well, I'm going to smoke weed and do nothing. You know, and I always looked at it like, I just don't think it's fair. And for me, and I'm biased, and I can be wrong because I think that it goes both ways, but also too, men are not the ones having the kids, right? It's easy to stay home. You can just hire a babysitter. I think that a man to stay home and do nothing is just, I have no respect. I lose respect. I think women want, like we have the daddy issues and the mother issues. I think a woman wants to respect the man and look at him as her provider, her hero. She feels like she's taken care of. You want a man to make you like you feel comforted, right? You want that security blanket. That's how we're built, to be like feel security. And I feel like I have to come out of character and be the man because I got to support you. I don't think that if you're capable, unless I have a friend whose husband worked up until recently, even still try to work. He has MS. Even with MS, he was still going to work to the point where they just said, we can't do it anymore because his health became an issue. And her and I have this conversation all the time. And that's different because she is taking care of him because he's sick. And he always took care of her. So I think in those instances, she 1,000%. I was like, yeah, but he's always taking care of you. You have to take care of him now, and until his last days.
Yeah.
But I personally don't think a woman respects a man who does nothing. That's what it is. And I grew up like that. I grew up with a father, a stepfather, and my mother did work, but there was times she didn't. And she didn't have to contribute because we had a lifestyle that she didn't have to pay. So the money that she did make, she got to spend for herself. But still, he always took care of everything. She didn't have to worry or stress at all. And if she had a problem, she could go to him and say, listen, because he wanted it to be stress-free for her. And he's taking care of me. I'm his stepdaughter. But I was 5 years old when they got together. So It's like, I have a child to take care of. Yeah. That's how I grew up, with that old school mentality. So I'm not saying it's right or wrong. That's how I was raised.
Well, yeah. And it is a cultural thing. I remember going to a restaurant once with my husband, and it was a Chinese restaurant. And the waiter asked my husband, at the time he was my husband, what he did for a living. And he said, I stay at home and take care of the kids. And the waiter went, those puppies that when they hear a weird sound and they go, huh? Like he literally went, huh? Because in the Chinese culture, that's like completely what? Because like you were saying, the man, and I have to say that, when I put the supposition out, is it the same when the woman makes all the money? And one of the issues with the marriages these days that do that is the woman really respecting the man, even if it's supposed to be fair. Logically, it should be fair, but if they're in a culture like mine or has experience like you were saying with your growing up, it's hard to, did I respect my husband for staying home and taking the kids? Yes, but did that break down when he like do I have a say on how he conducts his stuff at home, right? Then I don't know. I don't want to talk trash because that's not what this show is about. But it did get to the point where, he was if your wife at home is spending more time taking care of your friends than taking care of the kids or extracurricular marital activities, like
and that's what ends up happening because they become bored. And the thing is, men can flip and go, but women do the same thing. That's not true because we don't have the same sexual heightened desire like them. We don't have the same drive like them. So we're not driven by sex. We just aren't. We're driven by emotions, which is the nurturing part of enjoying sex for us. And a lot of men are immature and they don't get that. Now, if you are an actor and you want to have you have a business and you're pursuing and you do something on the side as while you're pursuing your business, then that's different. But if you sit there and wait for someone to knock on your door, I was always a go-getter. It's interesting because Trace has been very busy lately. And I remember a couple years ago when one of my friends said to me, I remember when you were modeling, you were always motivated, you weren't doing anything. How come you don't work anymore? How come you don't do anything? That's not the Elan I know. You just don't work. You don't do anything. And I have tried to explain to her when I got sick, because I'm a cancer survivor, I just didn't have what it takes to do it anymore. And she didn't understand that because she has a husband who had cancer and his journey was different and he's able to keep going. And I said, everyone is different. I just couldn't, and I didn't have the drive. And my husband says, stop working. Because I still was pursuing, even though I had kids and stay-at-home mom, I was still pursuing modeling. I was still pursuing my management company. But now I feel better. And so someone says to Trace the other day, this is someone who's a huge agent overseas in London. And she said, your mother is basically your agent because you're on strike, but you're still working. And I said, because I don't sit by and wait for the agent to get me work. I didn't do that when I was young. I was taught by someone how to go find the straight source. I would go past the casting directors and go directly to the directors. I would find out who's gonna go to the advertising agency and who was hiring for that job. I would find out who the top. Yeah, so I went down the wrong way. I would find out who the top photographers were. I had a friend who was a really well-known photographer in New York. And one specific person, he said, I'll show you this picture because someone just sent me the Z card. And they said, you should send this picture to Ellen Von Onworth. And she's huge. She shot everybody. She did Fashion Week in New York, which I had the opportunity to do. And I was like, I can't send my picture to the modeling agent. To the big photographer. She's huge. And he's like, just send it. She ended up booking me directly for something. And I got to work with Duran Duran. I got to tell you that it's one of my favorite brands.
Wow.
But I ended up working with Ellen Von Onworth because I sent my card directly to her. Now, I wasn't an established model enough for my agent would have not ever sent a picture to her. So now I bypass situations because I sit back and learn how can I get to this person, to that person? And that's what I'm doing with my son. And this is what my son said to me. You used to be that Elan and you would come out and work and have a job and we'd be like, how'd you get that? And I realized that I had to get back to that, right?
And you are there. And you are there.
Thank you. But my point was, as a stay-at-home mother, I never, even with my illness, I never was a person who wasn't trying to do something. Once I had the kids and the kids got into school, I was trying to always pursue something. Because I always want to be doing something. I don't want to just be like, I'm not going to do anything, whether it be entertainment or not. I was always trying to create or do something and manifest something until it worked. And I believe that both partners, like my original statement is, both people are partners. But when you're doing something and no money's coming in, then you got to find something, a side hustle. So another thing I did when I was young, and I was actually dating my husband at the time, I had a company called Little Star Shuttle. And it was a company for child actors with guardianship because a lot of parents couldn't take their kids to the auditions or sit on the set with them. So we would do that and they would pay us. That was my supplement when I wasn't modeling and making money because I went back to school to get my degree. I wasn't modeling as much. I was getting older. I was in my 30s. So I had this company. You got to do something. Show that you're doing something in your relationship and you have to look at your partner and see if that partner is strong enough to do that, because money comes and goes. You can have it and then you can lose it. Are you able to bounce back? Will this be someone that you can have longevity? Is this someone that you're going to get in retirement age and live on a fixed income, which is so difficult for elderly people? Medicine's expensive. Social Security is not very much money. What do you want to have a comfortable lifestyle? You want to live in a group home. These are things that you have to look at when you're going into a marriage, because we are young and we live in the moment. But I think we need to come from a different perspective.
Yeah. And I think I'm on the same page. It's not love or money, it's love and money. And the money part is a business transaction. And the more you can, first of all, be really clear about what it is that you do want, then you're much better able to negotiate or have that discussion on, what your expectations are. And then, of course, if your partner is completely no way, Jose, then you've got some thinking to do, because it's not, I tell my kids this all the time. If you're in a relationship and they're doing this, if you're doing this and they're only doing this, that's not going to work. If you're doing halfway and they're coming halfway, then it's going to work. You also have to remember that if they're going all the way and you're not doing any work, then that's also very unbalanced. That's why it's all about balance. So it's so important to have these kinds of discussions. And one of the most successful couples that I got to coach, the way they did it was they both had their income. Now, it wasn't really disparate. It was comparable, but they had their own bank account, and then they had a joint bank account, and they would each put all their negotiated pooled, and then you can take over.
It's not my time to talk. Well, also, I will say, while she's got the buzz going on, it has to be a mutual respect. And I think when you go into the marriage, you have to see how much that person values you. And if they value you not as the amusement part, but as a partnership, as a business partner, and respect you as a business partner, then it will work. If they don't respect you as a business partner and you're only the amusement part, like a trophy wife or a trophy husband, then you have to go in knowing what you're getting into. Just know what you're getting into, because there's women who will marry someone younger and take care of a young guy. Well, that's what you're getting into, and that's fine.
Don't expect them to do anything different. Right?
Right. I mean, there's some huge celebrities that I don't want to put people out there who like younger men, women. I'm going to flip it on the woman's side, who date younger men, and they were like, okay, well, I'm so wealthy and I have what I have and this is what I like. I can do that. That's fine, because that works for you, because you know what you're doing. But you have to be transparent when you go into the situation of marriage, what you're going to do and what you expect from that partner. Don't switch up because your feelings change because the lust wore off. Because that's what happens.
Yeah, it's the reverse gold digger. But this is what I not struggle. Yeah, I'm challenged with right now is that I lead sometimes with my testosterone, because I am strong, I am independent, and so when I am attracted to a guy, it's usually a guy that's younger, because I am attracted to good looks. That's just my Achilles heel, always has been. That's how I ended up with my husband. What was that?
They're older, good-looking men.
And come at me. Come at me, because there you go.
I know. I'm always we always go back and forth. There are older, good-looking men too. I want someone who keeps himself together, who looks good. If you go after someone, and I'm just going to put this out there, if you date someone that much younger than you, let's say 20, 25 years younger than you, right? know that that person's expecting to be taken care of. When I was that age, I had older men. When I was in my prime and modeling, I had older men coming at me, and I was like, okay, well, you're going to take me to dinner, and I still wasn't interested in being intimate with them, but I was going to go, okay, well, you want to go out with me and be seen, then what are you going to do? Take me to dinner, because everything's motivated by food for me, right?
Everything's motivated by what?
Food. I'm motivated by food. Always has been. But if I got an extra trinket, that would be like a bonus. But it doesn't mean I was going to go there, right? So what I'm saying is, right, women and men, we are attracted to someone who's younger. Now, I personally, from modeling, I can look at someone and go, oh my God, that guy is just beautiful. He's gorgeous. If he's 30 years old, I'm not interested because I have the issue of them being that much younger than me. Not saying that I like, because I know at the end of the day, they may look at me and go, oh yeah, I find you attractive, older woman. Let's have fun. And that'll be the end of it, right? If that's what you're looking for, that's fine. But don't expect it to be more than that.
Correct. Dang it. I had something good to say too.
And same thing with men. Men go, oh, well, I can afford it, this and that. Yes, but when you're in your 50s and she's 25 and she's hot, she's still looking at you. I have a friend who looks 30. He's in his late 50s. He looks so young still. And he likes young guys. He likes young guys. But I go, think about when we were that age. We would go, oh yeah, they look good, but they're still in their 50s. Now that's not old because I'm not old.
No,
I felt
right.
like that.
Okay, I'm gonna say it now when he's not talking. So I don't. The quandary is, even though I'm attracted to a younger man, I will not date a younger man because there's no part of being a cougar that is okay with me. Like, I don't want to, them to see me and this younger guy and say, well, I wonder, he must be, she's taking care of him. I did that already. She's a cougar. Wow. And I know that sometimes that's supposed to be a compliment, but there's no part of that is attractive to me. So that's why I would love to meet an older man that I'm attracted to. But I'm not into dicky doos, and dicky doos are when their belly is bigger than their dicky do. I'm not attracted to that, and many older men have dicky doos, right? And I'm trying to and I have to, I'm working on making sure I don't have a booby do. So I don't want to have a booby do, which is why I've been losing weight, which is when your tummy sticks out more than your booby do. I don't want to have that either. So this aging process. Okay, that's good.
We need a cartoon. We need a cartoon with a dicky do. Stick it right in the middle, right between the screen, right there, and between the both of us, a dicky do. I call it butt and gut. Oh my God, that is so funny. No, because they look pregnant when they get a certain age. But I think like 40 is okay. Like I think 40 or maybe 38 is the cutoff age. I still think 40. I don't think younger than that's too young. This is my opinion.
Oh, Maria thought that was funny.
You have a dicky do 40. It isn't. The dicky doos don't come.
Well, I mean, there's
about the dicky doos. Oh, that is gonna be my new thing. No dicky do.
It's just not attractive.
It's not.
Well, the one older man that I did date when I was younger, and I just adored him. And he did have a dicky do, but I adored him because not only was he, had a lot of money and was very powerful, but the best part of him is he respected my mind. He loved taking me in really huge meetings because he respected and valued my input on the business side.
And when someone respects you and treats you like they respect you and value you, that you look past so much more, right?
Right.
And then you love that person for who they are instead of being physically attracted. And that's the problem with men, why they treat the women they do, because we are music and they have dicky do. So, that is the funniest thing. But look, if you're like a George Clooney or a Brad Pitt, Under no circumstances are you looking old. You know who else looks good? Is Rob Lowe looks good. What's his name?
Give them my number, Elan. You're the one with the connections. Give them my number.
I was just talking about the Greek one that just got married. He married someone younger and had a baby. He used to be on Full House. I don't know why.
Yeah, but I'm not younger. That's the thing. Older, attractive men.
I know.
Want a younger, not so, woman. I didn't even say that out loud. So, but here's the horrible thing I'm going to admit.
They look good and they're age appropriate and they look their age. If you are a man who is handsome, who really takes care of himself. But this is what I think the problem is. Men that are available in the age range that you would date probably have already been married, which means they're comfortable. And so they have the dad bod, right? Because they become comfortable. We have the mom bods because we've had children. Our body changes for kids. But they have the dad bod and then they're single and they want to date. And they got to realize that they got to go do the work just like we have to do the work if we're going to be single again. They want a woman who looks like she's 25 years old. And they think that the woman wants them because they have money and power. But you still have the dicky dudes.
Yeah. Yes. And now I can't believe I'm going to say this, but one of the reasons why that relationship ended was I remember we were somewhere for something and it was he came out of the shower, he had a towel and he dropped his towel and the dicky do, right? And it was just like so like I couldn't not look, I couldn't not and it was like and then from that point on I was not able to get that thing out of my head. And it was literally difficult to have pleasure because, that is important to me. But then on the other side,
if you laid down,
that the light should have been off. No, but then I'm going to balance out my meanness right now and say that the karma here is I am insecure about my body. And so now I can't see myself dating someone with a really great body because then I feel like they're going to look at me the same way I looked at him. So
that's why my thing is if you date someone so much younger, you're going to be scrutinizing and you're going to be self-conscious versus someone who is in your age range or age appropriate. They're like, okay, yeah, she's older. It's not the same as it was before. I just want to get a mommy makeover. I'm just over it, and it's just bull crap. Because I'll feel good about myself, right? And you want a mommy makeover for yourself. That's all.
All right.
Raquel Welch went out with a bang, and I always said that I would be old and fine like Raquel Welch, and she went out with a bang. Still was fine as hell until 80 years old.
Well, thank goodness we both look ageless, and that's where we're going to end it because we're right up against the end of the show. I am so glad that we were able to talk about this openly. I am always loving this series, Tempting Conversations with Dr. Marissa and
Elan Carter.
You've been tuned in to take my advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show. I have obviously said too much, and I'm so glad that there was a fire alarm in the back where I didn't say anything worse to get in trouble. Thank you so much for commenting, Maria, Tom. Who else do we have here? Jean-Baptiste, all of y'all who continue to help make this a show about hope and happiness. Elan, final goodbye from you.
Oh, my dog just whined. He was saying, have a good weekend. Conan said, have a good weekend.
All right. And you know that it's all about balance. Here we go. Oh, Asian Oprah giveaway. I can't do it. All right. Peace in.
Peace out. World peace, inner peace. See you next week.